Hello Stampers, this is Jeannie Moss, the Bluegrass Stamper here in the Bluegrass state of Kentucky. Welcome to my studio. Today we will be making this card, Hello Friend, using the Inked Botanicals suite. So the Inked Botanicals suite comes with this stamp set, inked and tiled, 2 punches, and this is actually a bundle. So if you don't want the whole suite, this is the bundle. It comes with DSP 6x6. I've used a lot of the DSP, so these are the pieces that I have left. Just a quick run through of these gorgeous, gorgeous colors. Calypso Coral, Lost Lagoon, Crushed Curry. They all go great together. That's the paper. And a roll of this Lost Lagoon bordered ribbon. So it's feels like a cotton ribbon. Very pretty. We're going to use those today. The other thing we'll be using today will be this set of dies. These are called the Radiating Stitches dies, and you won't find these in the catalog. These are actually on the online exclusives. So you can add them to any order, it's just that you won't see them in the catalog. So we're going to use this largest die to make our card. You'll need some supplies. You'll need a piece of Calypso Coral. This is 5.5 by 8.5. I've scored it at 4 1/4, and this is going to be our card base. We've got a piece, I took a piece of 4 1/4 by 5.5, which is a 1/4 size sheet of Lost Lagoon, and I used that die that I showed you, the Radiating Stitches die, to cut out this panel. And this panel is going to go right on the card front. We're going to keep it, oops, let me get my card situated here. We're going to keep this a little bit to the right because we want to have a nice little even border around these 3 sides. So I'm going to attach that. And I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal for that. And I'm going to attach that right here, and you can see it does set a little bit to the right. It doesn't go all the way over here, but that's okay because we are going to use this piece of DSP and we're going to put it over there and even out that little border. So I'm going to just go ahead and put that on next. And then I have a piece of black, and that is this piece. It measures 2 3/4 by 4 1/4. But before we use this piece, we're actually going to take our punch and we're going to punch a piece out of that because this is going to be a hidden layer. And so we're going to use this, and then we'll be putting another piece over the top of that to hide that hole. And then the front of our card is going to be a piece of white. It's 2.5 by 4. And we're going to do some decorating on this. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper. And I've got my piece of white. I'm going to use my blending brushes, and I'll be using Calypso Coral and Lost Lagoon. So I'm going to add some color to this panel. And to do that, I'm just going to tap on the ink pad. And then I'm going to start out here on my paper, because I don't want that on my piece of cardstock. So I'm going to start out here and just start rubbing in a circular motion. until I get as much color as I want. And remember that you can always add more color, but you can't really take it away. So be careful with this. So there's the Calypso Coral, and I'm going to do the very same thing on the other end with Lost Lagoon. Until I have something that looks kind of like that. Now I'm going to take my stamp. I'm using this from the Inked and Tiled, and I'm going to ink it with our Memento Black. And I am going to ink that upside down because I like to be able to see on these larger stamps if I'm getting good coverage. And so I'm just laying that down and inking it up. And stamping it right onto that panel that we colored with our blends, or our blending brush. I'm going to put this to the side for a second, let it dry. I've also stamped Hello Friend on a scrap of paper, and I'm going to punch that out with our coordinating punch. And then, because I didn't want it to be quite such a stark white piece, I decided to add a little bit of my Calypso Coral to that. And all I'm doing is taking this brush that we just used and running that over the edges. And you can see how that gives that, instead of being bright white now, it's got a little bit of color to it. So you can tell the difference there. The next thing I did, I took this panel and I ran it through the exposed brick embossing panel. Now this looks very different on one side than it does on the other, but I kind of like the background for this one. So I put my piece in upside down. Where the logo is, that's the top. So I put my piece upside down because I preferred this look for this piece. And so I have something that looks like this. And if you want to see the other side, I did sponge it, blend it, but I didn't stamp on it, but there's what the other side looks like. So you can pick the side that you like the look of best. This one has more of the weeping mortar, the mortar that's seeping out between the bricks, and this one has more of the bricks. So done that. Now I'm going to put this on that panel that we punched the hole in. So what I'm doing with that, I'm going to just use some glue. You could use your tape runner as well. I'm going to stay away from my edges because this is going to be a border. I'm going to try to stay away from my edges. I didn't do too good right there. I'm going to line that up and put that right on that piece. And then I have a little piece of the ribbon. And to put that on, I just like to flip my piece over and add a little bit of the adhesive, the seal down here. That way I can lay this ribbon right across the front of my card and then just pinch this ribbon on the back. And that will attach it. And then if I wanted to tie some twine or something around it, this is not attached here. So that's how I do that. And then I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of this panel. And it's ready to go on our card. Next, I took these two pieces, the one that we punched out of our black layer and the one that we punched and stamped. And I'm going to lay these so that they're offset from the other piece. So they're staggered, the points are staggered. And this piece is also going to go on with a dimensional. And the last thing I did for this card, I took some of my rhinestone basic jewels and I colored them. I don't know if you can see that, but I colored them with my dark Calypso Coral blend, and I used the end that has the fine line because that is a bullet point, and so it won't get damaged like the brush tip might, because these have little facets, so they might be a little sharp around the edges. And I just added some color to those. Then I'm going to take your pick tool, and I'm going to put these on the card. And there you have it. So there's our card. That was pretty quick and easy. If you have any questions about this card, you can email me at bluegrassstamper@gmail.com. If you'd like to see more projects, I have a website at www.bluegrassstamper.com. If you need any products, I'd love for you to shop with me. It lets me make more videos. Thank you so much for joining me. Bye.